Hi, and welcome to Let's Talk About Real Estate podcast, the podcast for real estate agents absolutely everywhere. I'm Lisa B, and during this podcast, we're going to be talking about everything real estate. What's working, what's not working, AI, automation, technology, eXp Realty, and absolutely everything to do with real estate. I'll have guest speakers as well, where we'll answer your questions from the Facebook group, Let's Talk About Real Estate. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group, make sure you do that now, and we'd be happy to help answering any question. And again, welcome to the show. All right, Jodie Curran, legend real estate agent from the Sunshine Coast. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Great to be here.
2024, Jodie. I'm so excited. Like, aren't you? Like, just the possibilities.
It's going to be a big one.
It really is. Oh my gosh, I've just got that feeling. So you've had a phenomenal career in real estate. Like you've just, you've had massive highs with your sales, your businesses, all of that sort of thing. You've done so much. You've spoken on stage with celebrities like Richard Branson and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Gary V. You've done all of those things. And I mean, 2024, I can't wait to see what you do this year. So give people that don't know you a bit of a rundown of your career, sort of because we don't talk about ourselves enough. You know what? I've noticed that the men are all out there, and I'm not bashing men, but I just kind of find that the men are out there saying, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. And we tend to sort of be a lot more quiet about our achievements, and I think that's time to stop. I think we really need to go, you know what, I've done a lot in my life and I've done a lot in my career, and I deserve the success that that I've got. So tell us, brag. I want you to brag about what you've done in your career.
I guess going back a little further than real estate, I was mostly in finance prior to this. Lived in London for 6 years, worked for Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, mostly fixed income, currency and commodities markets. And did event planning and quite a few different things. I really enjoyed my time in London. Came back here, married over in England, came back here, had a couple of kids, and then really thought of where we moved to Queensland as well. We originally went from London to Victoria, then came up to Queensland and had a couple of kids, and I was like, right, time to get back into the workforce. And what do I really want to do? And sales came to mind. So I started working for Metricom doing new build sales, and then from there progressed to a local Sunshine Coast builder. And then the GFC hit. I was on commission only, and that's not ideal when anyone who worked through those GFC years in real estate or associated industries will know that it was a pretty tough time through 2010, 11 and 12. Wanted to build a house at that time. So I was like, right, I need a salary, not commission only. So I joined a residential real estate agency, and I joined as a PA to a principal of that office with a view to when the market picked up again, I would return to sales and start in residential sales.
Right.
So that's what I did. 2013 did my first sales. So that's when the market had started to improve, jumped back into sales then. 2014 left that brand, moved to one that was closer to home. That one was quite far from where I lived. So moved to one that was closer to my home, like really in my farm area. And that was 2014 to 16. 2016, created my own brand, Agent 4573.
Which everyone knew about. Like it was like just massive. Yes.
Yeah. So we went hot pink, went large, did a ton of marketing. Branding and marketing is what I've always done. I haven't prospected as such, I guess, in the true sense of the word. It's just been branding, marketing, getting my face out there. People would say I'm omnipresent in the area, things like that.
So you used a lot of social media and all of that sort of thing.
Exactly. Well, not so much social media. That's something I'm going to start up more now, but mostly being a presence in my area through directionals. So I was the first in my area. It was 2015 to do billboards, and the first one to put my face on directional signs. So my face combined with a hot pink. I had more of a white mohawk back then, so
You
very
did.
recognisable. Was the only one in my area on the whole Sunshine Coast, in fact, doing hot pink colour.
Mhm.
So it very much became a strong brand identified with me.
Yes, exactly. And okay, so your achievements there as well. So keep going about the achievements of what you've achieved in real estate. Like you, I don't
So
know if you want to
I
talk.
guess, well, real estate. So 2015, I had a really good year, and then I
Yep.
started my own brand. It was a bit of a setback because often when you leave a company, there can be some challenges, which we can go into more a bit later if you want to have a
Yes.
chat about that.
Yes.
Leaving an agency can throw up certain challenges. So
Yep.
it was a bit of a lull, but then as soon as I started, and there's a graph, I remember it just goes like this, and it just shows me going from zero sales and starting again to within 12 months being the leading agent in my whole entire area. And then I won in 2017, 2018 Sunshine Coast Real Estate Agent of the Year, and that was across the whole Sunshine Coast, and that's against a lot of massive brands.
Top brands,
That
yeah.
was the Rate My Agent Award for the whole region. Was also top 10 Queensland agent. So
Awesome.
there was quite a lot of good stuff going on at that time.
Right. And
The
everybody knows
billboards,
you, Jodie. Everybody knows you in real estate. You know,
and
I
I
would,
was doing a lot of speaking gigs at the time as well. So going to
yeah.
Melbourne, going to Sydney, going to Brisbane, talking on stage, because it was quite I believe in doing something when you go all in. And
Yes.
so I didn't want the slow version. I was coming
Yes.
out of a marriage separation. I was starting with zero money, and I needed to go from zero
To
to hero
hero.
really fast.
Yes.
And so that's what I did. So I spent a ton of money on marketing, branding, billboards. I did billboards for 5 years.
Yes.
And just really got my name and my face out there. I've always had an attraction brand. Again, haven't been done prospecting.
Mhm.
It's been a referral and attraction-based brand. And that's what I wanted to do because some people don't mind door knocking and that kind of thing. It's not for me,
Yeah.
and I feel it's not for me. And again, we can just touch on this a bit later if you like. It's
Yes.
been about an alignment with who you are. I've
Yeah.
got friends and agents that just love it. But
Mm.
if somebody comes and knocks on my door, I literally want to punch them in the face.
Yeah.
I'm home, leave me in my private space. So in
Yeah.
turn, I don't feel comfortable doing that to someone else. But there are other
Yeah.
people that someone knocks on their door like, hey, friend, how's it going?
But see, there's the difference in you is that you know how to brand yourself. You know how
Yes.
to actually get yourself
Yeah.
out there. For those that don't know how to do that, and people struggle with that, or they're too scared to get out there, they're too scared to get themselves out there, they'd rather just knock on one door or pick up a phone or whatever. And like you said, it's whatever's going to be right for them. But okay, for those that don't know how to build a brand like you did, and you don't have to phone prospect, you don't have to door knock, what would you tell somebody to do? What's a brand to you, and how would you build a brand?
Gosh, well, I guess to me, a brand is, and all of those things, just back on that, they just evolved. I'm not a planner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a kind of I just keep running.
Yeah.
And things evolve. I never sat down and went, right, I'm going to do 5 years of billboards. I'm going to do this. I'm not a planner. I'm just like, oh, it'd be great to get a branded van, and I'll have this massive van and my home office set up in that, because that's what I did as well. I got this, big van with a sliding doors and a table and chairs, and it was a home office. I'd stop, people could come in, sign contracts, all of those things.
Cool.
So it was just naturally evolving. And I think the biggest thing I could probably say to people is it's been in alignment with who you are. Your brand has to be you. It has to be something that comes natural to you, because if it's not going to last. It's not going to be sustainable. Most of all, it's not going to be genuine. And people can spot BS. They don't want the show pony. They don't want to be deceived. They don't want to be tricked. And sadly, in this industry, there is quite a bit of that goes on. There are a lot of agents that, line in their pocket is the first priority, where for me, it's always been what is best for the client. Like
Yeah.
I am employed, like I'm the staff member of the client, like I'm working for them. And that's one of my mantras. I never forget I'm working for you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of agents do forget that. They don't go in with that approach.
Big time.
But for me, with the branding, for me, it was fun. Oh, let's get a van. And then I wanted to do this Priscilla Queen of the Desert thing, which I never got around to do. So I sold my van. And, then I was like the superhero on the Excel. Oh, so I opened a property management company as well, which was separate to sales. That was in 2017. So very busy, very active years they were. But back on your question, it's got to start with something that connects and is in alignment with you. And you've got to discover that. You sort of got to tweak it out, work out what that is, work out, what colors you're comfortable with, what image is in alignment with you, and you just build the steps from there.
Because
And
what I'd say, Jodie, is like, a brand is not a logo. A brand is, as they say, what the customer or the consumer thinks about you when they see your brand. So what do you think? What do you think your clients in your area, when they saw your sign, what do you think they would think about you? And I've got my opinion because I know speaking to people, but what do you think?
Yeah, I would say probably the two things that come to my mind that people say, like clients when they call me in, is trust and results.
Yeah.
Those are the two things that consistently, when I get called in for appraisals, I know I can trust you. There's so many agents we've seen, I would never call them in. I can't trust them. That's what I get a lot.
I just got goosebumps. I like that because that is everything, isn't it? But to me also, as well as the trust and the results, I think the consistency, your marketing, so they know that they can trust you on your marketing. You do great marketing, and that's what's attracted them to you. So that's what's going to attract buyers to you. So I think your brand's got to be what you represent as well. You've got to represent, you've got to be that professional, and you come across professional as well. You are professional. So, when you're building a brand, I think that's really important. But what else would you say to people, or would you be up for people if they're looking at building a brand? Would you be up to talking to people about that? Because obviously it's very personal, it's very individual as well.
It is, and you've got to tweak it out. You've got to, work out what it is, and it's, your values and what's important to you and what's important to your clients, and what you want to give to them and provide for them. I love the training side. COVID came and sort of all the live events were stopped, and I got into a different brand and things changed. But gee, I miss those days. Like though, I love the coaching, mentoring, training, helping people, and I have done some private coaching as well. And this is brands that are not real estate brands, like a bakery, another food company, things like that, because it's all service, it's all alignment, it's all building client base. And this stuff goes across industry. It's not real estate specific. It's branding yourself and building your product. So you're the one that they think of. You're the one they're going to call in and go, who can I've got to call Jodie. Or they're chatting to their friend or their relative and they go, no, we're thinking of this. And oh my gosh, you've got to call Jodie. You've got to call her. That's how a lot of my business has evolved from those kind of conversations. Because people tell me, they're like, I was just at a barbecue and like 3 people said to me, you've got to call Jodie. My gosh, what are you thinking?
How good is that?
When they've said I'm going to call another agent or something.
All right. So anyone out there who doesn't want to do phone prospecting, door knocking, all that sort of stuff, wants to build a brand, give Jodie a call, and Jodie's happy to help you. And you're great at training. You're patient with people and all that sort of thing as well. You sort of will listen to them, what they want, what they need, their clients, all that sort of thing. So,
but also I'm happy to help with door knocking. It's like it's not something that I would do, but I've got strategies and things to work around that because it's in the delivery, it's in the communication, it's how you are with clients, and whether they've been referred to me or a person is standing at someone's door, it's the same thing. It's just not something I would do. But if people like to do that, I can certainly help them with that in that regard as well.
Absolutely. So you built up this massive brand, and then you went to another business, and you became a brand within a brand, and you kind of lost a little bit of that sort of your identity, and that's why you're back again with EXP, and you've got your brand again,
Yeah.
and you've got you back again, where your values, your personality and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That was really important to you too, wasn't it? Like, after somebody who has built such a big brand to then sort of take a back step to like
Yeah.
come back again, like that must be kind of liberating for you
And
too.
it was, it's liberating. It's also like, I thought that would be like see out the end of my career, that move. And so it was, kind of a bit sad that it didn't, but it wasn't a brand within a brand. I was a contracting agent, but it was all their branding. So far from my colors, like people would phone me and say, are you still in real estate? Like I basically for 2 years fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
I just disappeared under an agency's brand.
Yeah.
And that's what I love so much about EXP is that you can be an employee, you can be a contractor, you can work under the EXP brand, which is really crisp and clear, like the black and white. I've chosen to go out again under my hot pink, Agent 4573, and
Love it.
the results, and people are like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to see you back. It's
Yeah, and
it's
people
really
get
good and all of
behind
those
you.
things.
Yeah, they're cheer, you got your cheerleaders and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So having your own brand obviously was really important because you saw what happened and you saw the result
Yes.
of losing it. So, is that the main reason you chose EXP? I mean, there's lots of different reasons why, but is that
Yeah,
one of the deciding factors?
there were lots of different reasons. That was definitely high up there because I guess I did it so well that without my brand, it was almost like there was no Jodie.
Oh,
Because
wow,
I
yes.
was Agent 4573. We were linked so closely. It was so that showing up in another brand, it was like I just vanished.
Wow.
The colors and things didn't help, and obviously their agency brand is bigger than the agent, and that's how they want it. And I knew that going in, and I accepted all of that.
Yeah.
But it was
You became lost,
so
didn't
many. Yeah,
you? Yeah.
it's like Jodie is Agent 4573. Like it
Yes.
was such a strong brand combination of myself with that. And again, it comes back to that authenticity. Like it's me.
Yeah.
Like it's not separate. It's not like, oh, I worked for that company, Agent 4573 in the hot pink, and there's Jodie. It was all one. It was like that effective that that's the
You
company.
are the brand.
Yes.
Exactly. And you did
Yeah.
such a great job, and you are doing a great job again, building it back up again, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So you've joined a couple of brands before and
Yes.
left those companies.
Yeah.
How does somebody, if they're interested in joining EXP, what's the best way to exit an office? Like the most ethical way that you can do it without getting kicked out? Because obviously, if you're thinking about leaving somewhere and you tell the boss more or less the next day you're out, or that day it's okay, give me your keys, you're out. So how do you leave an office the most ethical way?
Yeah, it's massively challenging. Like I believe very strongly that there needs to be some regulation around this. That's going to be I've been a principal and had agents work for me, and I've also, been an employee for an agency. So I see it from both sides, and I believe very strongly that the client it depends. Like there's so many variables. If it's an office referral, it should stay with the office. If the agent's got that, relationship and build that person 100% on their own, it should go with the agent. And I do believe, very strongly, as you can probably hear, my voice gets a little more passionate about this, but foremost, the priority needs to be no disruption to the client, or as very little as possible. It has to be from both the principal's point of view and the agent's point of view that the client comes first and minimising the disruption to that client.
Yes.
That has to be the priority, and it should be the priority. Unfortunately, it's not. And I've had some very good, not very good, I've had good, well, let's say good, departures as well. It hasn't all been bad. There's been good and bad. But when I had agents working for me, I said to them, here's 2 weeks. go and contact all your clients. You know, they came in through you. None of them were office referrals, and they came in through you. If you don't contact them within 2 weeks, I'll step in because we've got an obligation to provide this client with the service. But, you know, just let them know I'm here if they want to speak to me. If you want to speak to me, you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, and I know other agents like Bjorn, he's had a great experience like that with the agency that he left to join EXP. And so there are a lot of good, and the ones that are good, but again, I'm just trying to get back to your question. It's really hard because you're in that situation where you can't keep prospecting. You have to stop prospecting. You need your properties to go unconditional to guarantee that you'll be paid at least the maximum amount appropriate for what you've done.
Yes.
Most people would want to have a good relationship with the principal and go like, you know, it's just time for me to move on. This is it. What can we do? Without fear of reprisal, of being shut down then and there. There are so many variables. And that's why, again, you can hear how passionate I am about this, because it's almost like people are locked in. They're too scared to move. They're worried about the impact on their clients. They're worried about the impact of not getting paid. Right. You know, I was in a situation many years ago, and the money just got held up.
Yeah.
And I couldn't access it. And I had 3 staff at the time. And, you know, then there's legal ramifications and things. So doing it as professionals should be the preferred approach.
And it really needs to be. But it's not always like that. It's like a divorce a lot of the time, isn't it? And it ends badly. It's like, oh, somebody leaves. Well, it must be a bad relationship.
And it doesn't need to be.
It doesn't
like that. It can just be, it's time for me to move on. These are the office referrals. This is the split. You know, you'll get that. I'll get that. Let's work out a date that's going to work for everyone. And, you know, off we go.
Exactly.
But it's, again, it's so individual, and I'm very happy to talk to people about it, because people might be out there going, oh, my boss is the best, like the principal's the best person. I don't want to upset them. And there's, you know, strategies and ways to deal with that as well.
Yeah, exactly. You can't stay with somebody because they're your friend either. You know, if it's the right thing for you to do to move on, you've got to think about yourself as well. But I also understand it is a scary time when you're moving. You know, like you said, when you've got listings and you're not sure, you've got to get them secured, and it is a stressful time. So if anybody wants to talk to Jodie about that, because you've got experience in that, you're going to be able to help people, then please reach out to Jodie on that too, because, you know, there are a lot of people that are staying where they are because they're just scared to move. You know, we've got EXP, we've got all the systems, we've got trust accounting, we've got all of the things that people need, you know, the portals, all that sort of stuff. Just to move over, you just need to tie up loose ends. That's all. And then everything else we've got covered. So, you know, Jodie can help you tie up those loose ends. So what would you say to anybody who's sitting on the fence thinking about joining EXP, but they're scared? You know, they're scared about leaving an office. They're scared about what the boss is going to say. They're scared about not getting paid. They're scared about what it's going to look like, whether they're going to be able to get their own leads. You know, what would you say to them?
Yeah, well, I guess the first thing is that when I have changed, the times that I have changed, everyone has been very supportive, and I don't think it's ever impacted me getting a listing, ever. And when I have changed, my clients, you know, whilst it has been some disruption to them, I've really tried to keep it at a minimum. And it can be done, and in most cases it needs to be done, because you can't go through life working for a company or working in an environment that isn't aligned with you and isn't giving you, because I'd say to a lot of people, like, you know, they're there and the company's actually offering them nothing. Well, and sometimes offering them a whole lot of grief as well.
Yes, exactly.
Like you said, all those things combined, can be a challenge, and it can be overwhelming. So it's just going really piece by piece, you know, getting a strategy, working out a timeline, things like that, in order to get it done. But, you know, the relief on the other side, and people have fear, like that, am I not going to get clients again, all of that. It's always worked out well for me, worked out well. But, you know, there's a bit of messy in between, but it's like anything, like when, you know, I say to all my buyers and sellers, like, you're moving house, it's going to be 2 weeks worth of hell. You just have to.
That's exactly right. You've got to unpack boxes
for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
you just have to accept that, and then it's going to be amazing. And that's what this is like.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly. Okay, so why should top producers like yourself take a look at EXP?
Oh, the commission split for sure. For,
Yes.
the top producers, it's like such a good split. You've got what about $2,000 worth, 2,200, I think, of your fees,
Monthly
which are your
expenses.
realestate.com,
Yeah.
RP data, all of those monthly things, your subscriptions, I guess. So just say 2,200 of that. And other than that, it's $25,000 that the EXP takes for the year. So as
Yes.
soon as you hit 100,000, you're on 100% commission split. So if you earn, okay, let's just say you are making $1 million, so you've got $1 million in comms, EXP will only take the 25,000. That's it. So
Exactly.
you've got all the rest. A traditional agency, say if you're on an 80% split and you're getting 80%, they're taking 200,000. So you're $170,000 ahead, and that's only on $1 million.
That's
Clearly, if you're making $2 million, it's up to like 400,000. It's
exactly.
massive amount of money.
Exactly.
It's just huge, and I haven't seen another com split like it.
But you got the commission splits, you've got the shares that you can get, you can
Yeah,
build a team. Like
yeah,
there's multiple ways of earning an income, five
yeah,
ways that you can earn an income.
yeah.
Which traditionally real estate agents, it's like one way, and maybe you get half a
Oh,
week's rent if you refer a rental to your
exactly.
boss.
And they could
Um,
start on like 50% commission splits. I'm sure a lot of people aren't on 80% commission splits. I'm sure there's a lot on 60, 65,
yes,
70. Imagine only
absolutely.
paying 25,000 for the
Exactly.
year, and
how
then the
much
rest is
money
yours.
how much money you could save, for holidays you could do, investment properties you could
I know.
buy, renovations you could do, new
Yeah.
kitchens, new bathrooms, or you can give it to your boss,
Yeah.
like whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But all right. So talking about building a team, because obviously in EXP,
Yeah.
we can adopt a leadership position and help other
Yeah.
agents have their own business like we're doing. You and I are both doing that. You love training, so do I. I love helping people. So
Mm.
what sort of attributes have you got to give somebody, like when they join your team? Obviously you can help them with the branding side of
Yes.
things. You can help them how to leave their office.
Yeah.
What other attributes have you got, or what other skills have you got that people can learn from you, as well as being a top performer, all of that? What can you bring to the table to someone?
So negotiation, I love that, identifying your buyer types and really working through that. A lot of people would ask when I used to speak on the circuit, they'd say, what's your negotiation style? And of course, it's different for every person, because you got to know who you're working with. Are they meek and mild? Are they assertive? And you got to match that assertiveness. Working through those things, getting a really good understanding of your dialogue and the things that you can use to extract the most out of the buyers and the sellers. We're here as facilitators to get a deal together. You've got a buyer that wants to buy, a seller that wants to sell, and it's our job to make that happen for both of them
Yeah.
in a way that is going to be, good for both of them, mostly the seller, of course.
Yes.
But, you need to get that buyer to a level where they're at. So negotiation, I love that side of it. The training, the branding,
Yeah.
dealing with people, getting new clients, getting yourself immersed in the community, like that type of stuff. I love, because as you can probably tell, I could talk all day.
Yeah,
But
exactly. So
I
people that need extra sales, people that need to get out there with their branding,
yeah,
people that want to make more money,
yeah.
who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
Oh, I know.
Um,
And I've got, strategies and methods and ways to do that. Like the things that I did to build can be replicated. There's new stuff, new ideas that I've got. There's just stuff evolving all the time. And
yeah.
I love, like, I give you my all. Like, I'm just happy to share everything I've got. There's no holding back. It's not, I'm just going to keep that to myself. It's like, this is what I've got. This is what you can do. Let's go.
Awesome. And can we all grow together then, don't we? You know, I've always been in that opinion
Yeah.
as well. Like, you know, you help your team and all that sort of thing, and you help
Mm.
them grow. A lot of principals don't do that. So, you know, if somebody listening to this is at an office where, you know, the principal isn't helping them, you know, come to us. You've got Jodie that's going to help you. I'll help you. You've got the whole EXP team. Give Jodie a ring, and, you know, we'd love to help you build your business. 2024, we've got massive plans. I'm so excited. So, you know, yeah, give Jodie a call, please.
Yeah, really would love to help. This is my year of getting back into like the real sales market, like getting really back into that. And also I really want to divide my time. I'm going to be more selective in the sales and the listings that I take on. And the other time is going to be devoted to building other agents up and teaching them and really building a strong, good team. And, you know, and that's across Australia and also internationally. And I was speaking to somebody from the US, actually, again, a referral from another business coach that I know, and she called me on Sunday. She's here for a little amount of time, but, you know, she's going to join in the US. So that's the other great thing, is that this is international. It's an international business. I know there are brands that say they are, but they really are not. They just say, oh, we've got international buyers and stuff like that. This truly is.
Yeah.
And it's in infancy in Australia, and it's going to become massive.
Well, you know that I just got back from India. So, you know, that the A team, we've grown into India. So we've got 5 or 6 agents over there now. You know, we're growing over there. So that's a huge market. So, you know, talk to Jodie about that as well. Just, the international opportunities of where we're in 24 countries around the world. So it's not only real estate as well. Like it's real estate, you know, building team members, but it's also cross-selling. It's also migration. It's also other opportunities that we can create out of, you know, just knowing other people, you know, overseas. So possibilities are endless. So watch this space, watch Jodie, watch EXP. But yeah, please, anybody watching, call Jodie, and thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk About Real Estate podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you have a question about real estate, then please join the group on Facebook, also called Let's Talk About Real Estate. For those of you who are interested in EXP, please join us at 10 a.m. Brisbane time every Wednesday morning for EXP Explained. Thank you again for joining us, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, and see you next week.